So I'm Harriet Coleridge, and I've been a potter 40 years now, this year. In 2001 I bought a house in France and met a potter, Raphael Maillard, and his girlfriend, who were hoping to set up a pottery and to build a kiln. So they rented the house for a couple of years and built the Anagama out in the garden. It's quite big, it's about 5 metres long and I think 1.5 metres wide. Built a bit like a caterpillar or like a cave and slightly uphill. So the firebox is at one end, the flue is at the other end, all the pots go in, and then you simply put all the logs in the front and the smoke and the flame weaves through and goes up the flue, leaving marks on the pots, the kind of marks that you hope it will leave. I've always loved making bowls, really, and I've always wanted to make beautiful big bowls. I was realising it would be difficult to throw, but what I hadn't taken into account was how difficult it would be to even take it off the wheel, because they weigh about 15 pounds.
And sometimes standing is really good, actually.
Your wheel's so good though, because you can really get your weight over it.
But I thought, well, I must at least give it a go, because after 40 years you ought to be able to make a big bowl, and much more than 40 years and you might lose the capacity. A really big rib, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you go for it?
So I thought I must try it. And actually when I did it, it just came right. It wasn't as hard as I thought and didn't even make much mess. I mean, I could even have done it almost without wearing an apron. Always coming from the middle, over the bowl. And up, I think, rather than out.
Yes.
I still remember Alan saying that.
Really?
Breathe, don't hold your breath when you...
Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? You
I think if I
get all
really had
tense,
to do
you've got to
that
be
recently.
relaxed, haven't you?
It's a lovely, lovely thing to make when they go right. If they go wrong, it's a lot of clay. It was, I think, 15 pounds. So if it goes wrong and you're fighting it, it's like fighting a small mountain. But if it goes right and it's just centred, it's all in the centering at the beginning. If you centre it at the start and manage to open it up without knocking it off centre, then really it makes itself. So I'd like to make more while I still can. So I actually tell you, it's quite hard to go that wrong, because it seems to just a mud.
Because it's nice and big. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's better. I might just do a little bit of a splosh, which is a bit. I think I'll just do a splosh. That's enough, probably. Maybe just one more. Oh, gorgeous. Almost all the pots that I fire go in with no glaze at all. They have a couple of slips and they might be glazed inside. But all the colour comes just from the interaction of the flame, the atmosphere and the constituents of the clay. I'll show you the book. This is liquid wax. I'm probably being super fastidious, and a lot of potters might say, what on earth is she doing? Sometimes drips of glaze can be perhaps an artistic addition, but I don't particularly want them. And if the wax is there, it's just easier because you'll see you fill the caught up with glaze and then pour it out. And if the wax is there, it just makes that process easier. Would you like a glass of wine, or shall I make it for Charente?
Yes, yeah. You can say food corrects blowing.
That brick is soaking. Just put that on there.
Just set us to
So
it.
that would be
Anything that
fine.
you would like us to do. All the straw removed? You want
Exactly.
All the straw removed.
That would be really lovely. This I've left here so that we can put all the detritus in it. It's still very, very damp. I mean, I think it's soaking wet under the kiln. I'm a bit kind of distracted because, you know, I've got to think, once we're firing, it's well, it's not.
It is what it
talented,
is.
but it's not quite, you know, you haven't got quite so much going on in your head. Is that actually on?
Do wrap them up.
Yeah, so that's what I've just made. I hadn't actually packed the kiln solo before. Well, I wasn't solo, I was with Frederique, who has a lot of pots in there too. But neither of us had packed a kiln before on our own. Except it's, yeah. Oh. Yeah, well, too bad.
Ah oui, à l'intérieur.
Last year, I put in some at that back, which had been in before, really disappointing, and they came out gorgeous. So you can't do it too often, I think. But this one just didn't really get the flame. And here I think you've got ash and stuff that didn't melt. And if it melts, it might be something gorgeous.
Le couvercle.
Oui, et pas beaucoup.
Perhaps too high.
Well, exactly. For les couvercles,
petites
boules,
Okay.
s'il vous plaît. Essentially, most of the effects come from flame, but when you're not using glaze, the other effects you can get are from added things such as seashells. And the shells will actually disappear in the firing, but they'll leave a mark. You can lay the pots on seashells, or you can lay pots inside other pots with shells separating them. Oh no, this one's going to go up
Alors,
there.
how
Oh,
high?
that's perfect. Woo! Might even get
Alors,
one of these.
c'est too large, no?
I don't know, I think it just might.
Ah, perhaps.
And then I'll put on the top. That is just perfect. I know it looks as if I'm putting in all my pots, but they just fit. Yeah, this is better because this one's very flat. Actually, that makes it stronger than that. That should work. Je vais poser ça. Ça marche!
Je te l'amène, mais à mon avis, ça passe pas. Oui, il faut mesurer.
Non, tu vas y
Non, non, non.
Wow, that works well. Just put that. C'est parfait, je pense.
Ça marche. Hein.
Juste, vraiment
25.
Peut-être comme ça et après des pots autour.
Oui, des pichets ou alors...
Et il y a beaucoup d'espace.
Oui, il y a de
qui reste
l'espace
là.
encore là.
Peut-être
Ça,
ici.
tu mets ça derrière. Oui, oui, il y a encore de l'espace là.
Peut-être celui-ci. Ça c'est qui? Bon,
Voilà.
parfait.
Ouais, ça marche. Tiens.
Let's see if that I can go back more. No. That goes there. That goes there. Parce que je veux protéger la boule parce que le bois pas comme ça.
Là, ça va.
Voilà, plus tard.
Ouais,
anyway.
enfin, il faut refaire.
Encore, il y a
Ouais,
il
il y a de la
reste
place
espace
encore
là.
là. Ouais.
Et aussi, peut-être on peut faire un galet. This firing felt a bit daunting because when we arrived it had been raining every single day for about 7 months, and so everything was absolutely soaked. And when we were packing the kiln, the water was actually slopping over our boots.
But you need a little piece of rope to go from there to that corner.
But luckily Rafa arrived in time and he built a trench which had quite obvious advantages. The water was diverted, and by the time we came to light the kiln, it wasn't actually afloat.
To allow the water to go in that direction. Well, Elisa, how that's a good sign for the rain.
Yeah, it's actually quite dry on there. You might get sunburnt working out here. One for them.
Wait a second, there. It's a lump there. Sorry. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
This one perhaps couchant, but not so important.
Pas couchon, couché.
Couché. Okay. Comme ça. Yeah, I think that'll work. The effects of the Anagama are hugely dependent on the pack. It's not like packing the larder. You have to put thought into where every pot is and what might happen to it. So you really have to think in 3 dimensions.
Stirring and taking all the ash around.
Yes. So we can begin to put the brick
Yeah.
for this.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure, that is very amazing. Yeah, that's great for the lid, I think. I mean, let's see if I've done them right. But
No.
You put it, maybe I come, you think?
Ok.
Well, I don't know. Well, no, you know where it goes.
Si tu veux,
Ah oui. Oh, yeah.
peut-être deux,
C'est possible.
sur les deux murs. Que ça tient pas.
Ouais. Oui, c'est bon. Ça suffit, on fait. Oui, ça va. Oui, ça va.
Peut-être une coquille sur l'épaule. On va regarder si c'est possible. Yes!
But I left my waterproof boots in the rain because I left them on the other terrace when it was sunny.
It is? Oui. On va
And I
prendre
forgot,
ça.
I went out the other
Ah oui,
door.
ça, c'est- ah ben voilà, parfait. Merci.
I'm no good at the shells. Oh. Wow. Quick, Frederique's going to put a double shell between my jug and her piece, and that will be it. Yeah. Last night we said, okay, 9 o'clock tomorrow. And I went to bed and I thought, I'm going to tell Frederique I don't want to be getting up early and trying to keep asleep. And I sent her a text at 7:30, and she was asleep actually. So we didn't start till about 10 today.
Des coquillages partout.
Good work. Good work, eh? These are slightly different, so maybe like the first one. Narrow it. You can tell by the weight. Exactly. So fine now. Oh, and you're running them down. So this is broken lintel. Yeah, these are all narrow. Yeah, part in this.
That's right. C'est facile.
So smooth.
Yes.
That from the back to the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit creep. They're kind of creeps. You know what I mean? Vindictive creeps. They can't read the room.
Go for it. Little by little. They know how it. Perfetto.
I think it's going to be a big boom.
You put at the top, they burn slower, and then you can see the flame going.
Yeah. But it is going that way.
Ça y est, c'est parti.
If you're not using glaze, The effects on the pots are coming from the atmosphere and the flame, but the flame obviously is governed really by the wood, so you get very different effects from different kinds of wood. Wherever you are, you want to use the kind of wood that is available locally.
Be careful with the door. I'm gonna pull the door in the side, okay? Very hot. Nobody touch it.
For example,
No, it goes.
well, it's going. You could do that.
For the last firing we had mainly chestnut, I had quite a lot of pine, we had oak, which was mostly old oak beams that I'd had for a long time. So it was quite a lot of oak is good because you get a short flame, but it's like very deep heat, so if you want to build up the heat, the oak holds the heat for longer, and it's obviously a very hard wood. Pine gives you a very long flame, and if you need to get heat quickly, pine is very handy. For the side stoking, where halfway down the kiln we have channels, and you put in very long, very, very thin pieces to get the heat to the back.
So that, I think that is changing a bit, isn't it? That
Yeah,
flame
but it's
is
not
more
black smoke anymore, it's proper established
I think
flame.
it's starting to get a bit more of an established flame, which is what we want.
It's that lovely slow flame. Just got to be careful not to cook my phone. I love that when it does that.
It's like waves of clouds.
Awesome.
You need a bit of a break to let somebody take over a bit of that. Yeah, back to that. Not really steam flame, it's almost that sort of...
Steam? It's smoke.
Smoke.
Good girl. The smoke.
I guess
What are you doing?
Everyone begins a drawing.
no.
Only one? No?
Everyone.
If it works, it works. It's just the other one that's falling in a bit smaller. Everybody's a bit frantic.
Laisse, ouais. Elle est un peu petite.
Right, so somebody can start this. Oh, we need to look at that.
Remember, my hands is, I train my hands.
We just bring it straight, like you're going to put it here.
Do it like that. Gently. I don't know how many.
Remember, my hands is, I train my hands.
We just bring it straight, like you're going to put it here.
What do you think that what he was using a bit of the doing?
Because I've only got one glove.
You can just do this.
Ah, sweet.
Wow. God, I can't believe it's over after all the making, the stirring, the packing. This is the moment I think we're going to begin. You have to wait a week before you can open the kiln from closing it down, which is a week of suspense.
Ooh.
And when you first look in, it can be very dismaying, really, because you look in, everything just looks grey. It's all covered with ash. And every time I go into a state of high anxiety and think the whole thing is a disaster and a calamity. Yeah, I think I put in all the shells when we packed, and it was fine straight after, but a couple of days later. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here's my big boy. And then you take everything out. It still looks really grey and crusty. So I think the lid did come off. That's something.
Nice.
That could be nice.
Nice.
Oh, no, that's what I wanted to see.
Oh, il y a des
Oh, it
sons.
is. Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Yes.
This is Frederique's, that's Iona,
Oh.
and that's me.
C'est joli, il y a de belles
So
cendres.
that's
Beautiful. C'est bien.
beautiful.
Ah, c'est joli ça.
Yeah, that
Ouais.
we took that out yesterday.
Beautiful. La porcelaine.
So
Oh.
You ready, Rose?
Un peu déformée, mais... Ah, la petite boîte. Et ça, c'est Iona, non?
Oui.
Ouais.
Wow.
Ah oui, joli. Ah, super. Ouais. Ouais, joli.
And another fish. Be careful.
oh, that's nice. No,
Be
that's
careful.
Ouais.
Yeah, it's a little.
yeah. The wording is.
Huh?
Oh, that looks more exciting.
Okay, Abby.
That looks
Look
better.
how pretty.
That's
C'est sur la
better.
dernière.
Sorry.
Je crois qu'il y a les deux là.
Everything is falling. I need to go fast. Please.
Not too fast.
Ah. Oh, rose. Wow.
Wow.
It's Christmas.
Oh yes, this is mine. Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Ah, it's you.
Rose.
Oh, that's nice. He survived.
Be careful. These together. These two together.
Ooh. Meant to be.
Just take it.
Take it.
Yeah. Oh, whose is that?
Whoa.
Ooh. Nice.
What's
Oh,
inside?
sorry. A fish.
There are other things inside, other things.
A fish. That's beautiful.
I know. The other side too.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, Rose.
Yeah, top.
Oh, my stool. Hooray.
Oh, wow.
You
Yeah,
survived.
that side's always better, isn't it?
Pam's, one of Pam's is in the water outside.
All right.
But I think that's it so far.
Iona.
Beautiful. Well, some of them are just, I mean, they're all beautiful, but some of them are just stunningly beautiful.
Gosh, that's come out nice.
Beautiful. The porcelain really comes out.
It can be. I mean, I'm hoping for more dramatic effects, and I'll say, oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Rose! That's got to be roses.
It is. That is heaven.
That's
Iona.
lovely.
That's gorgeous.
That's pretty gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
They're running down.
I know.
It's so.
It's got a wonderful sheen on it
Look at
too.
that.
Was that a shell just impressed into it?
Yes.
That.
I really didn't like how it had fired, and it's definitely better.
Come out better. Oh, I love that too.
And that was what I wanted on all the porcelain, but got one anyway.
What sort of glaze was that? So
That's no glaze, that's just porcelain.
that's no. Oh, it's porcelain.
And that is what you can get.
Ouais.
Boom.
Ah, pas mal.
Ooh.
So these are nice, I think. This is very dry again.
You mean rather than shiny, it comes out matte. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, it's
when,
just,
when
you
you
can
say
see
dry?
this is dry. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just dry. It's
Yeah.
just, it's either not, that's not
Yeah.
dry, and that's dry.
Yeah.
You can get matte, which isn't dry,
Right, I see.
but this is matte and dry. No, c'est pas mal. So that, sorry, I'll bring it into the light, look.
Ooh.
So that's a beauty.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
And intact. That's more like it. Still really dry there. I think I better take this tray.
Dry means that it hasn't actually.
I'm not quite sure. Why is it so dry, Rose? Look at that bottle.
Just a bit hidden.
Every single one of mine is stuck to something else.
Right back.
We fill these dustbins with water and put everything really, except those few things that come out radiant from the start, put them in water, and then all the crud, most of it falls off, and the rest is knocked off easily with bits of wood or scrubbing brushes after a few hours of sitting in water. Yeah, and last night we suddenly had the supersonic. Must be maybe it was 10 o'clock. Next one. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is a shame. That worked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Better put it in.
It's lovely. I love those balls of yours.
Thank you. Well, let's see. We'll put it in the water and see.
Sweet.
Okay. Oh yes, this was with lamp. Ah oui, il est beau, oui. Oui, oui. Très, très beau. Wow.
My fish has disappeared.
Donc là, I saw a fish yesterday. I think it might have moved. I think we put him in a bowl. I've had really lovely fish. And then you lay them all out on the grass. To begin with, again, everything tends to look brown. And then gradually, it takes time, but gradually it's as if they come to life. And they go on coming to life. You photograph them, you pick them up, you dry them, you look at them. And after about a month of living with them, you gradually realise that some of them actually you really like. What you really want is carborundum. Yeah. I think I forgot to bring it. That's right. But that will come off, I think, this one.
I do. I've got a couple. Well, you know, so I can
Water is just magic. Just. I think that'll be quite interesting.
That's lovely.
I think they're nice. We were terribly pleased that the firing seemed to go very easily. We got to the temperature at the back and the front, which is not always the case. We thought, wow, we'd better stop because it's really going to be otherwise overfired. It seemed very, very hot. And it was very hot at the front and the back and the top and the bottom. But in the middle, there were a lot of pots that were simply dry, and that means that they hadn't really been touched by the flame enough, because the flame was able to find its way over the top of the kiln, and so it wasn't forced to go through the middle.
It's dry in the back and it's beautiful in front. Beautiful.
We didn't really have all the right pots. Turns out you need a lot of quite big round pots to go at the bottom, and then you want to pack it tight at the top because the flame will always take the easiest path. We had a lot of pots to get in because there were lots of people participating. We really wanted to get as many pots in as we could, and it was probably too tight at the bottom and the first shelves weren't high enough. So that was the big lesson that I took away from that firing. But luckily we had a lot of lovely pots from the top and the bottom and the back and the front, but just not from the middle. The best pots really were well, from my point of view, were those that had been fired either on shells or with shells inside them. We had an absolutely stunning array of scallop shells, which were particularly flat and they hadn't been overwashed, so they left an amazing just an amazingly vibrant orange residue, like hands, and that saved the firing, really. I've had bowls and flour bricks and a couple of jugs with those marks on. And those shells came from a very special beach somewhere in the north of France. Oh, Marius, good. You've come at the right moment.
Merci.
Yeah, gotta have Rafa in there. There we are.
Merci.
Cheers. Cheers. Well done. Well done.
Many chance, Joey.
Well done. Love your birds. That reminds me.